into here, Serene and Simple Life. Nothing about serene and simple about moving a 10-foot ladder, even an 8-foot ladder. I moved it a couple times, can't even budge the 10-foot, and 6-foot, that is definitely manageable. Guys, 2 different guys are gonna come and pick their ladders up shortly. Patrick is gone, and I am now going to attempt to do the trim. This is trim day number 1. This is obviously the door. I've done all the taping. Frog tape is my friend. And I'm even gonna, I'm gonna put a piece of tape along here so that I can get this side. And then we scoot over here. And after that, I'm going to do this window because this is really a noticeable window. Started to tape it. I've got to do the little spackling of some of the nail holes. I use my finger for that. And then project number 3 for today, hopefully I will get this done, is I'm going to tape this. I'll be taping right here, obviously. And then I'm going to paint into here and the door all the same color, pure white. And I'll be trimming or putting tape along this wall or along the shiplap and go all the way to the bottom. Baseboard is going to be last. I don't know when or if I'll get to the baseboard. This is way more than I thought I was going to do. Although it is a happy project to know that you completed something within your own micro home. So I guess that's the bonus. And then if that gets all done, tomorrow will be day 2. I'm going to be doing these 3 windows the same. I'm going to go into the casing here, right here. I'm not going to paint the actual window. And look at that beautiful view out there. So tomorrow will be the 3 windows, and hopefully John and Joe will be picking up their ladders that I am eternally grateful for. So there you have it, guys. Let's get busy. Paint I'm using a couple steps up from the cheapest paint, and it's called Pure White. So they mix this, and it's a satin interior. What kind of paint do you use for trim? Tape just a little bit more, and I'm not concerned about this side here, so I'm not going to tape on the wall here. And then finishing up taping here, just for part of my goal for the day is get the prepping done first. But before we get started, how about we pick a message for the day? Many of you who've been here a while, you know I have an online daily inspiration card business, Say It, Display It, with a great website. And with each new day comes a new beginning, absolutely. I pray for a new beginning every single day in my relationships and in my life. Use me, Lord, all for your glory. And thank you for a new beginning. So yes, this will be, I think this will be number 2, and then the door and the trim will be number 3 for today, if I can get that far. And then this will either be, if it goes quickly, I will do this next. So I'll have to tape up here and tape down below, obviously. This is MDF board, so not happy with that. And we'll go all the way around, and then we got to go over here. And there you have it. A little bit of a mess. I did put the house back together, the little retreat yesterday. And yes, an open house is coming within the next week or so, if I can get all this painting done. Yay, got all the taping done that I need. And going to do a little breakfast energy to take on the task of the day, painting, more painting. This is actually day 8 since we started. And yes, Patrick has been gone a day. Here's oatmeal, Mother Oats, 2 teaspoons of whole flax seeds, and I'm gonna dump some berries in here. Yum, yum, yum. I'm not thawing them first. I know it's gonna cool off the oatmeal, but that's okay. And we'll just stir, stir, stir here using a deep bowl. And I do this on 8 or 9 so that it doesn't overflow in the microwave. And then if you look over here, as soon as I'm done eating, my lovely chair, using my regular end table. This has been the work table all along. Patrick used this the entire time, or most of the entire time, but we've got a smaller roller. This is a 4.5 inch. So I'm going to use this for, like, I guess in here and here. And we're gonna roll along here. And then of course we'll be using this brush over here. That seems like the right size. I think this is yeah, 1 inch brush. I've had this a while, so I don't know how good it is. This is a metal door, so I won't be painting that. I don't know if they already painted it white or not. I'm thinking they sprayed it white, but I don't know that for certain. I'm thinking no. I think they left it to determine what I wanted. He asked me if I had wanted the thermal spring in here, and I was like, no. And I'm gonna use my little 2-step stool, and I'll be using the 6-foot ladder for the tops of the windows, and that will be tomorrow. So there you have it, guys. Ready to rock and roll in a few minutes. To show you from part 3, Patrick surprised me and did all of this in here. He leaned the ladder up against the butcher block. I had no idea. I came in and he was surprising me with that. So he finished all of that. I had a little bit to do behind the convection oven and this little bit of trim. And you know what I think? I've been able to paint because it's not been big drywall where I get carried away and work too fast. This has slowed me up because it's been basically one board at a time. So I think that's the difference, that I'm able to slow up, and maybe my age too. I think the last time I painted was probably, I don't know, maybe I was 50. 15 years later, I'm learning to slow up and enjoy the ride. That would be journey, not a destination. Life is a journey, not a destination. Painting is a journey and hopefully a destination. I hope to never paint again in here once this is done. Can we say amen? Lights, camera, action, guys. The paint is poured. Always makes me nervous. I'm using a little cup to dip this brush in, and I hold it while I'm up on my little step stool or ladder eventually, maybe. But my one dilemma here is, do I use this brush, which is, I guess, 2 inches, and paint here, like in a slant, and then get over into here, because that's almost the whole width there, as you can see. Or do I use my smaller brush, which I already have paint on, and paint down, and then I'm thinking maybe this bigger brush. I'll start with the small because big means bigger messes to me. And then I have a little low plastic thing that I'll pour paint in. But yeah, I guess we're ready to roll. A couple plastic garbage bags on the bottom. And let me see, the time is 8:53. And we'll see how long it takes to paint this door trim. And I'll be back at ya. It only took me but a couple minutes to trim, and I'm using this small brush here. And I'm gonna go over here now, guys. And I've already started determining, you know, which brush. You can see where I stopped there, I think. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm actually doing like this, and then spreading the brush bristles out, I guess you could say, almost into a full, you know, a full stroke here. So put in the comments, would you be using the bigger brush and getting both of these pieces at the same time? I'm coming down, as you can see, down. I'm gonna need more paint here in a minute. I've got my little cup over there that I hold. And then I'll take and spread, like kind of in a flat motion. And when I'm doing this up and down, I'm actually catching this little piece in here too. I don't know if I'm gonna need 2 coats or if I'm even gonna just say 1 coat is sufficient. But more control, I think, with the paint with this. I may give the other one a shot just to see how it goes. I've got my other little narrow bowl here, so I think I will try the other one just to show you. All right, so just a little bit of paint on the brush. Man, back in the day, I would soak the whole brush. No wonder I made such a mess. And now, let's see, taking this whole brush, can we do, see, I'm still tilting back and forth. I don't know, I guess it depends on how good the brush is too. I can go back and forth here and then flat here, bring it down. Is this 6 in one, half a dozen of the other? Part of me is kind of liking that I feel like I'm getting more paint on this inside board using this bigger brush. So I'm going to continue with this one for a while, even though I see the benefit of the smaller one too. Steve Bannon, talking head. I go between, do I listen to news, independent news, or do I put on some music? Music would probably be a better choice. I want to show you something, and as I'm showing you details, you see the spackling there? I think that was done, I don't know, today. I let it dry about 15 minutes. But Patrick showed me how you can take a little damp cloth and wipe over it in order to get your bumps. Just want to make sure that I don't take out too much in the center there, which it looks like I did, or I didn't have enough to begin with. I don't know. We've got 2 up here that look pretty good. I'm not going to mess with them. Again, they look like they could use a little bit more fill, but I don't know. I'm not going to re-go over something like that. Maybe the paint will fill in a little bit, huh? And again, hopefully this is my last gig with painting. I know they say never, but you know, 65 years old. Paint maybe last 10 years. I'll push it to 15. And then of course, if I make it to 80 or anywhere close to there, I won't know the difference anyways, right? That the paint's peeling. So, all right guys, let's keep going. Less chatter, more work, huh? And I did use the big brush. I poured my little paint in there. I'm gonna continue with the wider brush. And I feel like, you know, sometimes I'm bringing the bristles down. Like, I don't know, like sometimes I bring them down this way, and then other times I'm kind of like flipping it in this way. So I don't have any real techniques that are long-standing, because I've probably only painted 3 or 4 rooms in my life, bedrooms usually, and that's it. When I lived in a home in Pennsylvania, I hired someone. I think he did the whole house for $3,000, and that was like 1,200 square feet. I don't know. Anyways, let's keep going. All right, guys, so seeing is believing, right? Woo, down into the paint lightly. Back in the day, I would dip it all the way in. I have no idea why. I guess I didn't understand what this bumps was for, to roll the paint out, huh? Lacking common sense. getting it all on the roller, which I don't feel like I am. This roller's not been used that much either. Just I did for inside the corners, like over there, corners. But then I got used to using the 6-inch after that, or 6.5, whatever it was. Back and forth, little technique that Patrick had showed me early on, doing a little bit of empowering. All right, so now we take it up here. I'm not on the step stool right now, and we're just gonna roll, 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 and hope for the best. So the trim with stopping and starting and talking to you, probably a half hour. So I'd say if I kept going and didn't debate on the brushes, it was about 20 minutes. Not bad. So I'm a goal setter. I like to see, okay, where will I be? I usually underestimate though, just out of excitement. But yeah, once that dries, I'll see whether or not do we really need a second coat or not. Should I do a second coat, guys? Probably. Maybe I'll just do it on the rolling part and I won't trim the second. I don't know. I really don't know till it dries. So anywhere 2 to 4 hours, I guess. It dries really fast in here, though. One thing that really motivates me to keep going is when you see the difference. Doing white on white, it's kind of hard, but if you step back here, let's see, even if I turn the light off here. Yeah, you can see how the MDF board is like, has a yellow cast to it, and this is nice, pretty, pure white. I'm excited. Pretty. I just took another roll up and down through here, and I'm really happy. And I think you can see better here now. Check it out, guys. I know my tone of voice didn't really have excitement in it, but the unpainted and the painted, look how pretty. Woohoo! Gotta keep going. So if each door and trim is like, say, 45 minutes max, oh my gosh, you know, you could do like, I don't know, there's an hour and a half there and another hour and a half here, so that's 3 hours total. This door and the trim, probably what, 2 hours? So that would be 5 hours. And then this is 45 minutes. So let's add a little bit to that, like maybe 6.5 hours to do this room. I don't know, I'll let you know what happens. And I'm not talking about the other side of the door, just in here. So 6-7 hours and get this done. And we're not talking baseboard either. So I'm gonna leave the baseboard and probably just a little, you know, piecemeal that. Although my personality is like, once I start, I keep going. And I didn't push myself, but I did work in the mornings and I worked in the evenings, and during the day I stepped out and let Patrick do his thing for the most part. The first like 2 days, I started on Saturday and he finished up on Tuesday, which was 7 days. So I had like 4 days into it, or maybe, yeah, because Sunday night I came back and painted and I showed you that too. So, and now there was a day in between. I went and volunteered yesterday at a homeless place and back at it today. So this is now Thursday. We started Wednesday a week ago. Instead of just babbling to you, I know I'm showing you a lot of the same wall, but I decided to come back with this brush. Just picked it up to do a little extra paint, touch up. It's not really second coat, Patrick says, until it's like dry. But I'm coming back up through here and I'm digging this brush just to, this was kind of raw wood showing through, and it wasn't painted on the edge. So this brush is pretty cool just to add a little bit of extra. And now we just had this rolled, and you can see how it's, you know, it's wet, and I'm going to give it a little bit of time and then just run the roller back down on it. And move on to the kitchen window. I'm going to do, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do this trim and this door last, and then depending upon the time of day, so that I'm not pushing it, I will do this board here, this trim, backsplash, whatever you call it. Maybe one day I'll get a fancier backsplash. An OMG moment. Use this for the second coat, guys. Look at that. Maybe, we're getting close. I should have used wider tape here. This is the narrower. So I got to be really careful there. It's coming right to the edge. Oh, I wasn't showing you, was I? Right to the edge there. But then I could take my smaller brush and just come down. So I think I'm going to be rolling the inside trim on the other door instead of using a brush. How awesome is that? Oh my gosh, technique improvement here. I may ditch the brushes altogether and take and do this little guy. See that? Right in the edge there. Bring it down. And then if there's any overlap, come back and pick it up. So start here, go all the way down, and then come back up against the door, which I've already done now, and bring the roller down and skip all the brushing altogether. It might be a game changer and a time efficient technique. Wrap up here, guys, of part 4 of this painting. Now doing the trim and giving you some extra details. This has 1 coat on it. I don't know, I feel a sense of obligation to go back and do 2 coats to roll it. I used the narrow brush and trimmed inside here. I may have already told you, and then I rolled the rest. And then do a little touch up on this little ledge here. I would kneel up on this with 1 foot and then kind of hold on with the window or wherever I could to get up top here, so it wasn't too bad. And then lastly, now we moved over to the door. I don't know if it's lastly for today, but it's lastly for this. And watched a couple YouTube videos where you paint the inside here first, as you can see. I don't know why I did that with the brush. I can roll that. And yeah, we're gonna do 2 coats here because of all these edges and everything. I'm being a little less hard on myself now. I had a drip, and I know that that's just gonna roll out nicely. I was so paranoid about everything before, and a lot of angst because I had not anticipated painting, but I saw the need, and I'm excited now that that's how it turned out, that I can do this myself. Ooh, it's a good workout. And then lastly, at the door again, that is 2 coats. And we're gonna let that one go now. And we've been at this, it's 11:15. I guess I started taping maybe around 7:30 or so, maybe a little sooner. So we've got like 3 hours into it. You know, I probably have another good half hour on this. These little sections, probably the whole thing took like 15 minutes. So, and then I'm gonna do coat number 2 over there, which will take another 15-20 minutes. And yeah, less time. Yeah, about 3-4 hours. Maybe take a little break and I'll get rejuvenated to do more. So with that, hope you've enjoyed this little paint series. You'll have to stay tuned for the open house to see everything completed. The doors, the windows, everything's gonna be the same as what I already showed you. Showed you using 2 different brushes. And now I just used the thin one for that little ledge. And not using that one really at all. I'm just using the roller. Well, I'm using this one to do the door decoration, whatever you call that, the indentations. And that'll about wrap it up. So again, blessings in your day and joy in all your projects and joy in the journey. Later. Another OMG. Just, I couldn't be more excited. This roller is absolutely perfect. Look at that. For in there and right here. It's the one more thing, and I can tilt it just a tad to get into that little curved area. Then I did a little second coat on these two squares. I'll just keep on coming down here, and then I'm going to do the trim the same as I did the front door, and then touch it up a little bit with the narrow brush and come over on this side and use the narrow brush. Yay! A day in the life in the micro home with the amateur painter. I hope you have enjoyed this 4-part. Please subscribe, click the bell, and give this one a thumbs up. Woohoo! One more thing. I'm on the back side now in the craft office spare room. And here is the narrow brush. I feel like I have a little more control. It's a little easier to use. Maybe a little easier on your wrist too. I'm gonna keep on keeping on here and maybe switch back and forth, who knows.